Welcome to Colorflow Conversations, where we flow freely, speak boldly, and connect colorfully. I am Uakeisha, and this is.
Tikisha.
You say your name so differently every
Every
week.
time. Every time.
Every week. I think I say mine the same.
Mm-hmm.
And you say, you think yours depending on how you feel that
I
day?
think it's how I feel. Yeah. Like I may sing it.
Yes.
Like I don't know.
Like today, you didn't say it like super cheery, but you didn't say it like flat either, like Tucky. It
Tikisha.
was like, my day is going well.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes.
Well,
Let me tell you a fun story though. Like I remember my parents telling me stories of how I said my name when I was a kid, like in preschool.
really?
Yes. So this just must be who I am from the
So they
beginning.
would tell you would
Yeah,
say your
because
name
how I
different.
would say it, and then I would be like Tikisha.
I'm going to tell you this too. You talking about preschool? I found my senior book from high school, and I was going to bring it, but I'm gonna wait and show it to you next week. And you remember how each person would write like things? It was things that you wrote in there to me that you have not changed, because one of the things that stood out was like, we gonna always be friends as long as you don't jack. Basically, like, if as long as I stay the same. You don't remember, do you?
I do not. That is hilarious.
Takesha, because you wrote. I must have saved the first page for you because you went to a different school, so I want to make sure you got a page right in it. You wrote in the first page. You took up the whole page, and your message. I read it, and It's so funny. I didn't read everybody else's. I read a few, but I read yours, and I was like, "This is hilarious." And I have pictures of us and of you that you probably don't remember.
That is so funny. And you want to know what's wild about this whole situation? So I don't know how we came across it, if it was me or Jordan. But anyway, one of my friends from like elementary and middle school,
Yeah.
you know how we used to take the school pictures and write on the back?
Yes.
We came across the picture and it's been like sitting on my chest for days.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know, today I was just like, let me put this in my senior book. My senior book is in my closet. Like I literally can go in my room and pull it out. It's not even like it's deep dug away. And
Mine not either.
I just slipped it in there literally right before you came for us to start recording. How about that?
See, y'all don't be understanding the deeper. Y'all think we just talking, but it's so many deeper meanings behind what we're saying that y'all have. Well, even on my way here, I'm about to tell them about why I brought you. Even on my way here, and I stopped at the store, and I know my friend likes chocolate, so I saw these cute Hershey bars because I know she loves chocolate, and the Hershey bars have all of these positive things on. I don't know what's going on with Hershey's, why they doing that, but it was like confidence, authenticity, authentic, love, whatever. And I got it. It's like a multi-pack. I got it for her. When I got here, what did you tell me?
I told you that I was in the process of organizing, doing a pop-up shop where I do my events and stuff. So it's a co-working space. And I said that when the people come in, I was going to hand out gift bags and I was going to include Hershey's. And here she comes with the Hershey's. But the fact that they had the words on them, now I'm just like,
yeah,
I want these specific ones.
Yeah, now. yeah. I'm telling you, that's why I be saying I know you said I don't have to like convince you that it be like supernatural stuff that be go on, and that to be the most simplest thing a lot of times with me and you, like I say I looked at my senior book and you just slid that in the senior.
Slid that in there.
I literally read your message in the senior book and was just like, this girl was crazy back then.
I'm still thinking about the fact that I wrote a whole page. So I'm like,
well, not only that, I skipped this part. You wrote the first page, and then I had made copies for extra people, for people to have pages, because they only give you a few pages for people. So I made copies, and then I flipped one of the pages up, and you wrote again. Like you came back to write a second message and repeated like some of the stuff, like, we gonna always be cool as long as you don't change.
Damn.
You don't hear.
I do not remember this.
I'm going to show you next week.
But it's so funny because it really fits like who I am
you
today.
I've told you've always been the same. Now I glanced over other messages in the book from other people, and I no, a lot of people not the same.
What made you look at this book?
I was going through just organizing, like, I got that big bookcase on my wall upstairs, so I was going through getting things out and like trying to just organize, because what made me go through the case was I am trying to make my home, like, I'm preparing for my next. So I just was going through stuff and things that I didn't need, because even magazines and stuff, I was like, let me throw this stuff out because I don't even be looking at magazines. But when I came across the Singer book, I sat down and started going through it. and I was reading how it would say where you think you'll be in 5 years, 10 years, all that. I was reading everything that I wrote, and I was like, man, I said that I would have a daughter and a son. I said I would have a daughter and son. And I said, and it was something I said in there about loving children.
Interesting. And that's legit who you are.
Yeah. It was like, wow. Now the only thing that really stood out to me, that I don't work in the field that I thought I don't work in the field professionally, because it was something about psychology. But doing this podcast is, to me, a form of, helping, healing, psychology. And I was like, man, I was just going through, and when I got to the page about yours is the first page, and it's like I saved it because you went to a different school, and I was like, I started reading, I said, oh my God.
I just want to point out that you must have had a lot of friends and had some good memories for you to make copies and add in your book.
I made copies of the pages, and it was 3 people that wrote a full page like you. But what stood out to me about those 3 pages that was a full page, I looked at my relationship with the 3 people. And I was like, it's interesting how my relationships with the 3 of you pan out. You just kind of see who's in your life for a season. And I didn't really I read the first line of one of the pages, and the first line was like, I don't appreciate having to write on this bumpy ass page.
Okay.
And I didn't read no more. It was like, okay, so instead of letting it be, I was like, and I see how that friendship turned out.
I was going to say, like, looking back, and I have a question I want to ask you too. Like, that makes me just think, looking back, and I know wisdom comes with years of experience, but like the me now seeing that sentence first would have been like, oh, okay, this is a red flag on our friendship.
Yes. Yeah. But back then, I'm sure I laughed like, you're so funny.
Right.
But that's what made me not read any further. Like, it was a whole page just like you, but I was like, it just, and then the 3rd page, I didn't even read it at all, because I was like, okay, this wasn't even real friendship anyway. So it was just interesting to me that I was like, my thought process when I was looking through the book, and the things that I did read, I was like, this is interesting how your life turns out, and what you think about it back then and what you think about it now. Because we've been out of high school, 30 years?
I don't know. I don't want to do the math.
Oh, well.
I'm seasoned. That's all I got. I'm seasoned. Yeah. I am just laughing at that because I'm still stuck on that. I was just like, as long as you don't change.
I'm going to show it to you next week. I was going to bring it today.
I'm going to need you to take a picture of it and text it to me.
Yeah.
She's talking about she going to show it to me next week. I was wait 7 days?
Yeah, I was going to take a picture. I thought of that, but I like to bring things and actually tell you, because I was like, I need to tell you first. Then I need to show you, because you're like one of the people. Of course, you changed in ways over the years,
Mm-hmm.
but like your thought processes as far as friendship never changed.
Yeah.
Never changed. You know, my thought processes as far as friendship probably changed over the years based on me being a people pleaser.
And I think that's why I don't want to use the word struggle, but I don't always agree when I hear people that say, well, if a person got a lot of friends, it must be something wrong with them. Like, I
No,
really struggle with that. And I use the word friends, you know what I'm saying,
loosely, yeah, yeah,
loosely,
yeah.
but I do know that I still have those connections from childhood. And it's because of my values
Mm-hmm.
of what a good friend is. And I'm not saying that I haven't had moments,
Yeah,
because we human and we all have moments, but I think my core values have always been the
been the same.
same,
Yeah,
which is why I still can rattle off at least 10 people without hesitation.
I believe that people would think that I have a lot of friends, but I don't. I really don't. I know a lot of people. I think there are a lot of people who will consider themselves to be my friend just because they know
No,
me.
yes.
But no, I don't have. I used to consider myself as having a lot of friends, but now where I am now and with the wisdom God has given me, I now know, and it's nothing wrong with that to me not having, because I believe that my tribe is coming to me, but where in the season I'm in now, I'm okay. Like I said, my phone never rings. I like you talk on the phone or text friends, you know. I don't have that at all. And it's like it's okay because I feel like I went through that season where it was like I felt like I had to have friends. I had to go out. I had to do this. I had to and now there's a peace that is over me. And it's like the opposite, I guess, when you don't understand genuine friendship
Friendship. Mm-hmm.
to when you start learning genuine friendship. So I believe just like when I talk about relationships, when you talk about our stuff with friendship and relationships, it's opposite. Now it's flopping again in our adulthood where I don't have a lot of friends or a lot of people calling me or going or inviting or let's do this. And if it actually feels good because it just weeds out who needs to be in your life, who doesn't need to be in your life. And at this time where I'm getting closer to God, I don't need the distractions anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I said, I deal with the public more than you. So it's easy for me to be distracted. So I don't need the extra friendship distraction. Sorry, y'all.
Okay.
So yeah. But yeah, I pulled out that senior book and I just went down memory lane and I was like, every page I turned to, I was like,
That is
You didn't
funny.
open your senior book. You just slid it in there.
Yeah, I just slid it in there. I've looked at it like recently, but not recent enough for me to remember or care. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Because
yeah,
I have those friends from elementary that I know right now that I still be like, hey, what's going on? Like, can I come stay at your house? You know what I'm saying? Because I've had
yeah,
one that I just asked that last month. But, then I have those connections that if I seen them on the street, hey, how you doing? What's up? And then I have somewhere to be like, I'm not going to say nothing. It's not like all of them are besties. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah,
I do believe, same as you, that I have been working on building my soul tribe and not even necessarily purposely. It's just come with me evolving
yeah,
and weeding out who's not balancing me.
yeah,
Because I do have a lot of relationships that I feel are not necessarily friendships. It's more of the mentoring type of connection
yeah,
versus the hey girl, what's up? You know what I'm saying? Type of friendships. But that just comes with me being me.
yeah, yeah. I noticed that too about myself. Is the people. Well, I'm saying people, but it's not that many. Maybe one or two that I do speak with or text. Not speak on the phone with often, but maybe connect with often is a more of a mentoring, ministering type of situation, and um, I'm okay with that. I'm like completely okay with that. So, yeah,
I
yeah,
am heavy on wanting I say it all the time, a life of ease and joy. And a part of that is most definitely feeling like my friendships are balanced. And not
yeah,
just even my friendships, everybody I interact with in my whole entire life.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
it, you know what I'm saying? Like if we thinking about friendships in the term of like we are friends and the core of what that means versus like the hey girl, let's we about to go eat or whatever. And this is
hmm,
just my out to dinner friend because we
yeah.
have those that you know
That
those
you do that,
buckets of
yeah,
certain things,
yeah.
but I am most definitely not in a place where I'm just kicking it to be kicking it.
No,
Everything is intentional
intentional,
because
yeah.
I value my time. But I had a conversation with someone today and it made me think, and I was wondering your opinion on it because we were talking about something and it triggered like me thinking about my shopping addictions, where they came from, the root of it. And it was like said like, well, the way you grew up, like you got everything that you wanted. And my response was, but I'm 48. That was 30 years ago.
Hmm.
So at what point do you think we as adults need to let go of
The
the
way you grew up.
childhood? And I don't want to say let go of the childhood trauma. What I want to say is letting go of that as a excuse, like a reason. Because at what point is it we can't, like, that's a liability?
I don't believe that. This is just what I believe. I don't believe you fully let that stuff go until you fully surrender yourself, because you hold on to it, not that you forget about it, because you right now are intentional, because it still can come back. You let it go, but you are intentional about how you do everything financially.
Yes, I feel like for me, and I am not using this as a strict comparison, but just on the basis of an addiction is an addiction,
Yeah.
because a shopping addiction, it could possibly lead me to homelessness. You
Yes.
know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Just like alcoholism and gambling and
Yeah.
everything, I look at it that serious. So I don't try and place blame
Yeah.
on how I was
and
raised.
and and the shopping addiction, sadly, a lot of people think it's not serious.
Yeah.
They take it as like a joke. They may laugh like, girl, you got a shopping addiction, ha ha, like it's a joke. But because I know, I don't think I always knew how serious it was for you, but like as I've learned how serious, and I watch how you handle things now, even to the point of, I think one day we went to get our nails done, and not like we go all the time. It was just a thing where we fluke. Was like, girl, let's go get our nails done. And when it was time to pay, you went and got cash. And I was like, why you didn't just use it? I'm thinking, and I probably said to you, why didn't you just use a card? You went to the ATM and got cash, and you were like unashamed, like, I make sure that I pay for things with cash, not only just to watch where my money go, but because if I start swiping that card, it's easy. And I was like, wow, that's when I think it hit me how intentional you were about knowing you're over the fact that you got your everything you want as a child. You over that. But as an adult, you can still get everything you want, but it can go overboard. So if you are intentional, and I don't think that goes away for my belief, until you just completely surrender yourself and acknowledge you have an issue, just like they say in,
I
it,
think that that is very important what you just said. Acknowledge that you have
an
an
issue.
issue,
Yeah.
because I feel like, which I know when I was having this conversation, it was brought up as a comfort to like give yourself some
Grace,
grace.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I think that sometimes when we give ourselves grace in certain situations, we use it as a crutch,
Yes.
and we aren't able to jump over that hurdle
Yeah.
because we are so busy holding on to that crutch.
And I don't like I said, I don't believe that people take all addictions because they always maybe think it's just alcohol and drug, or then sex came into the thing some years ago. But I don't think that people realize how many different things can be an addiction
Yes.
and
And
how serious.
anything that you admit is an addiction can always turn into something bad,
Yes,
disastrous, can
yes.
destroy your life.
I believe a soul tie doesn't just have to just be sexual. Okay.
I don't think soulmates are just a sexual thing or just between a man
Yes.
and a
Yeah.
woman, because I have friendships that I feel and make my soul
Yeah.
happy.
Because you have to have equally yoked friendships.
Yeah.
So I think that we got to get out of the mindset of keeping just this means just this, or the addiction is just this. An addiction is something you realize that you are repeatedly doing, expecting a different result, which is the definition of insanity, thinking it's going to make you happy, it's going to fill you up. And when you finish doing that addiction, you still feel empty.
Empty.
You still feel bad, sad, depressed, whatever. So, them saying, what they said to you about you can stop it, but you still have to be intentional. It's still an ongoing, just like
It's
a person who say they in recovery, like our former guest Millie, who says she's been in recovery for 30 years.
yeah.
She don't say I used to be, and she says I'm in recovery because she know that if what I don't even remember what her addiction, whatever it was, if she tried it today, that would be her spiral back down that lane.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't.
Yeah, I just was in a place where and I said that I was just like, I'm 48. Like 30 years ago, I was 18. I can no longer blame what my parents did. And what I
Yeah.
also will say is, this was something that, I started thinking about, because I'm like, the situation that I put myself in, I never saw my parents in that situation. I've
Mm.
never seen my parents struggle
Yeah.
ever, where I've struggled because of my addiction. So it's like, nah, nah. If I pay closer attention, they taught me the responsibility aspect of it to a
Mm-hmm.
certain degree.
Let me ask you this. So, do you believe that, okay, so you had a shopping addiction, you didn't see that on your parents, and in different families, different people have addictions. Um, like some people may have a drug addiction or whatever. And I know people who have had drug addictions in their family, and they refuse to partake in any type of whatever because they feel like it's a trait that they can go down that path. But do you think, like, if you have a shopping addiction, that somebody in your because addiction is in the family, that they can have a different addiction?
Yes, because I am from a family of addictions.
Okay.
I won't go into everybody's
Yeah,
story. I'll
yeah.
just speak of mine, but my addiction isn't like theirs,
Okay.
and I didn't think it wasn't an addiction because it wasn't like you said, those levels that we think: drug addicts,
Yeah, yeah,
alcoholism, and gambling.
yeah.
And honestly, I don't even think until the casinos came where it opened up that gambling was an
Yeah,
addictive.
addiction. Yeah, yeah. Because when you were
Because if
walking,
you just out shake, playing dice and doing
yeah,
all that, this
yeah.
was just normal activities. But it was like when the casinos came, that's when I think I became more aware, like, oh,
This
gambling
is
is
an
an
addiction.
addiction.
Yeah, yeah. You could walk through the casino, and I probably could count on my hand how many times they look like zombies. Like they really can't snap out of it. So yeah, that's why I was wondering. Like, if
Listen,
you,
I have a story
mm-hmm.
about being at the casino. Like, oh my God, I need to get home with someone that was a gambler.
Really?
Yeah. And I was just like, okay, like I'm ready to go because we've been here for hours, but when you're a gambler, like you said, they just they're in the zone, them lights light up and they excited.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
when that's not your thing, it's different. But when I was at the mall and then I'm going and then, I developed relationships with the salespeople, but they're salespeople. So they're remembering certain things. This is not boosting my ego like you, my friend, in real life.
Yeah, they
I'm
they
here
take
trying
notes.
to get your money for commission.
They take notes and put it under your name.
Yes.
I see it every week in restaurants and stuff. So
we can remember and remind and make you feel a certain kind of way, and then it's we got this in because we know you love it.
And then you think you VIP because they remember they remember your money.
Yes. And then when you go into the store and you bringing someone else with you, and then you get this royal treatment.
Yeah, you important. Yeah.
So I really had to learn to love myself.
Yeah. Come on. Yeah.
To fill my own cup up and not realize that I needed those things. And in that conversation, I said, I still like that stuff, but I am so mindful of it now. Like there is no way I could go and drop $5,000 on a handbag and not feel like, what did you just do?
Yeah.
Did you just do that?
Yeah.
Where it was a point in my life where I did that and didn't think twice about it. And it's just like, and I still think about like, you've been in your house 20 years, you still got a mortgage. This house has been paid for so many times, over and over and over, but because of where I was allocating my money.
Yeah. But in the lesson in that as well is, you had to go through it, and he kept the shelter over y'all head in spite of that. In spite of that.
And I am so grateful. I never put myself in a situation where I was absolutely tapped out while I was employed, because I spoke about how I think like I've been unemployed 5 or 6 times over my mortgage career. But I've never been that bad, but I still wasn't using my resources the best way I should have been.
Yeah.
So those times when I was unemployed, I should have enough money stacked where it was just like how this last time I was able to enjoy it just a little bit more than what I ever had, where before it was just like, okay, like, what you gonna do? But I didn't come a long way with that. And I commend everybody out there that realizes that they have an addiction and work on it every single day, because it's a continuous process. Because like I pick up still shopping. I am a Temu fan. Everybody know that.
Yeah, you are.
You know what I'm saying? But it's a difference. And then like when my card gets to $100, I'm like, what you got?
What you bad? Oh, Temu.
That you done got $100 cart. Like, do you really need this?
The difference though with Temu though and you, like, okay, I remember you going about the Gucci and Louis and all the glasses, watches, bags.
I would have bags, Keisha. I would have sunglasses
Henry
to match
Bendo,
a particular bag.
Yes, but the difference now is you still look just as cute in your Temu skirts or shirts as you did in the name brand. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll walk in here and be like, oh, that is so cute. And you're like, Temu? I'm like, really? But I remember the days where we like, everything was.
I'm going to tell you this. I remember that, and I don't know if this is something I shared with you before. I remember my mom took Jordan shopping. And Jordan just had picked up his stuff. It was probably Christmas, whatever, neither here nor there. And my mother said to him, "You're not with your mama. We look at price tags."
Yeah.
Because if he wanted it, he was gonna get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I stood by the motto that my dad had, but my dad should have explained a little bit more. Now I understand, but it was just like, if you can't afford to go in that store, if you can't afford to go someplace, you do not go.
Yeah.
That is something that's been instilled in me. But in my mind, as long as I have the money to pay for it, not that I need 3 times the amount, not that I even need money left over. As long as I can go in here and I got the money to pay for it. And money comes in different forms.
Yeah.
Okay?
Absolutely.
You got a credit card. You got 10 G's on this credit card, Jordan, get what you want.
Oh my God. Yeah, I remember. But I never judge, even when you switched over to wearing the Timu or whatever, you still look good. I think
Thank you.
it be in our mind that
But let me say something though. I rarely bought a lot of expensive clothes.
okay, it was the accessories.
It was the accessories. I spent money
on
on my accessories. I never bought a lot of expensive clothes, and this is something that I'm still working with because I don't like to repeat my stuff.
Okay.
So it's just like I can't have a gazillion dollars worth of clothes, and I know I really only want to wear it one time.
Yeah.
I still haven't. We've been doing this almost a year now, and I still have not been able to work through that part of my life. So.
I mean, it's a continuous.
And the crazy thing is I'm not even buying stuff though. I've bought so much stuff before. Yeah. That now I'm finally using it. But whatever. We ain't gonna go down that rabbit hole.
It's a continuous journey process, and it's made you better, and that's where wisdom come in. Now you're using wisdom.
Yeah.
You're using wisdom when it comes to your finances and just different things. You're using, you've always had a lot, and it's funny because I think we talked about this before. Like, we both grew up I didn't want for anything either. Like, I had everything, and even because
like I thought I was rich. I didn't know that I wasn't. You know what I'm saying?
And me, I didn't think I was rich. Other people thought we were rich. You know what I'm saying? Because of how my mother was you. She didn't look at, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know. She's not here for me to ask her. I don't know if she had a shopping addiction. But when she shopped. And she came with whatever she wanted. When she wanted
I feel like it's only I feel like, and I don't know if I'm wrong in thinking this, but I feel like it becomes an addiction when you're suffering in other areas of your life. Or is an addiction a repeated habit? Because, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't go to the mall before, but out of routine, I would just get up. And that's what we did growing up. When my mom had an off day, we would get up and go to the mall. So I still would get up early in the morning, go to the mall, walk around. Even if I wasn't buying anything, it was like a part of a routine.
That's interesting.
But I also think with your mom as the first lady,
I think
you have to present yourself a certain kind of way. And I still feel like we still have to do that. Like when what is that saying that they say? Like, dress the part. What? I don't even know what it is.
Because she had custom suits with custom hats that match it. She had like coats. You know what I'm saying? Mink coats, and it's so. I'm not gonna say the word crazy. I read Ecclesiastes this week, the whole book in one day.
It's kind of short though.
It's kind of short.
That's a surprise for you because you would be reading and it would be like you reread and reread.
I did not reread it, but it hit me, and it's making me think of my mother when I read Ecclesiastes. Basically,
is Ecclesiastes a time for everything? Is that
he was just like everything is meaningless.
Oh yes, that was one of the verses. I don't know if we ever talked about this.
We never talked about it. But
that is one of the verses that I hung on to and wrote down for me to remember that.
Yes, he literally that's why I couldn't stop reading, because I'll read a chapter and think about that and ponder. Yes, and I read it all in one day, and thinking about my mother and just people in general, how when my mother passed, we had a lot of stuff. It was a lot of stuff. When I read Ecclesiastes, and he was basically like, poor people die with not gonna take nothing. Rich people, you can't take nothing. Everything pretty much is meaningless. He used the word meaningless so many times that I was just like, I began to wonder, is this for real what I'm reading? Like, did he really say this? Because I was like, I know this man was not just saying like everything y'all doing, everything we doing is meaningless. He was just like, dude, enjoy the work you do and live for God. Stop trying to impress. It's meaningless. And I just kept thinking about that all week. That I ain't text you as much this week because I was really deep into that, thinking about that. Like, oh my God. Like, and it's just weird we talking about it now. And I think about my mother and how she would shop, and we have to put on these airs for people. And not that my mother was being fake or that we be
That's
fake,
why I said it the way I said it, because I don't think it was
maybe not for people, but you gotta put you
dress a certain way. It's just like a uniform type of thing.
Yeah.
But when that's who you are at your core, it comes with the enjoyment of I'm getting ready to dress up and be pretty.
I think with the enjoyment, we have to remember, which goes back to me reading Ecclesiastes. I think with the enjoyment, because we do like to look nice. I don't want anybody to look at this and think we saying go be broke down or whatever or whatever.
No,
that's absolutely not what we're saying. That's not what we're saying.
Be fly.
Be fly. Be
that girl.
But remember who gave it to you. Don't take him out of it. You know what I'm saying? And in Ecclesiastes is basically saying, you know, we get these things and forget because it become about the things and not.
Yeah, we make the things our treasure.
We make the things our treasure. And so I am like so bent on like, I am grateful for everything God blessed me with, and he blesses me daily. Give us this day our daily bread. I get my daily bread, but I do not forget to thank him for that daily bread. So when I think about my mother passing, and she enjoyed her stuff, you know, and I think that she was thankful to God for the life she had. I do believe that. I also believe that, you know, as a first lady, she probably, because if she didn't do it, it would have been like, why she look like that? Because that's how we are.
Mm-hmm.
Why she put that on, you know? But then when she got it, it was like they using all the money for this. They, you know, it's like you can't win.
You can't win for losing.
So you might. He said, and you
so you win the way you want to win.
You win the way you want to win. He was like, you might as well enjoy it, but don't forget where it came from, girl. I read the word meaningless so many times. I was just like, oh my God. Yeah. It makes you put things into perspective about our addictions.
Because it makes me feel like I don't need to overindulge.
Yeah. You don't need to overindulge. And he said that work, drink your wine, you know, work, enjoy life, but don't forget that this really is all meaningless. Like, enjoy your life, but don't put yourself in debt. Don't try to, you know, fill the gaps of what you're missing on the inside with stuff.
Exactly. Because it makes me think of, and we talk about the TikToks all the time, where the girl was talking about, and I think I sent it to you. I don't know if you watched it. I don't know if I sent it to you or not. I could be making that up. But a girl was talking about the Lululemon. And when she was talking about it, it really made me think, because she was saying that when she went to school, that the girls was wearing Lululemon and had that, and they were working out, and it was their active wear. Whereas now people are wearing it as a status type of thing and their outfits. And it really made me think, because I like certain things, but I also like the feeling of the status that came with those certain things.
Yeah.
I wanted a Range Rover for as long as I could remember because it was a status type thing.
Yeah.
I missed it. I ain't gonna lie. I missed it. It was nice. It was luxury. So I like those things. But this has really, working through my addiction and learning that it was an addiction, and learning how to fill those empty spots, because I still have moments
Yeah.
of emptiness where I'm not running to the mall to buy something, because I'm acknowledging
Yeah.
what am I feeling, what is causing this moment. I had one just the other day, and they are really rare and far and few, but I was like, I never feel lonely.
Mm-hmm.
So when I feel like lonely, it's like,
Yeah.
wait a minute, what is this feeling?
Yeah.
And then the first thing I started was I opened up my phone, and then I was just like, let me go to Timu, because I feel, and then I was just like, wait a minute, nope. You need to deal with what's
You're
making you
feeling,
do
yeah.
this. Don't go to your distraction thinking that you about to look on here and see what you can find for $2 or $3, because you're repeating that
The cycle,
cycle.
just doing
You
it in
just
just
doing it in
different
a
way.
exactly. So
Yeah.
I had to deal with that, but it was just like I missed that one-on-one like companionship type of thing, and I was in that moment where it was just like, oh, you lonely, you just want some companionship, like you ain't talked to nobody, you know what I'm saying? Like most of my, I won't say all, because not all of my conversations are like that, but some of them are mentoring like conversations,
Yeah.
and not
Yeah.
just me talking about me, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it.
But that's it goes back to the balance of you, like we said a couple weeks ago, like you get, you got that feeling like, what is this I'm feeling? And you probably just, that, to me, that's another form of the balance that we were discussing. Like today I just want to talk about me, or I want that companionship that I'm haven't had.
Yes.
And because most of the time you talk, you're pouring.
Yeah.
You're pouring. So who pouring to you?
Yeah. So I felt like that day, where I was just like, oh, my cup a little empty. Like this is what
Yeah.
this feeling is. Like I'm wanting that human connection for me,
Yeah.
where I'm not pouring
Into,
anything.
yeah.
I'm just sitting
You're
here
pouring.
receiving, getting full all over again. And I don't have a lot of moments like that, like I did before. But I was,
Because you get full from pouring too.
yes,
You do
oh,
get
I
full. Yeah,
do.
you
I
get full.
do.
Yeah. But I think that is normal
And
human, feeling.
also, honestly, it's this time of year
Yeah.
too, when it's the we not getting the sun, it's a little bit gloomy, it's cold as hell here.
Yeah.
And the Christmas movies,
Yeah.
they all love stories. And I'm a movie girl. Like, even if I'm not directly sitting there watching TV, I need background noise no matter what I'm doing. So normally now is I didn't went, before I was in my audiobook phase, then it would be like I would be in the music phase. So now
Yeah.
I'm in the movies phase. But that, as much as I love this time of year and can sit and watch the Hallmark movies back to back to back, it does trigger that part of me.
Do you know, right after I read Ecclesiastes, I read the full book of Songs of Songs too.
Did you?
Yeah, this week has been deep for me. And what you
How
talk,
romantic was that?
let me tell let me tell you this. Um, as a woman who is now about to reach a milestone in my abstinence journey, I read that and clutching my pearls. Yeah, I was like, and again, I was like, is this really the Bible? I was flipping like, that's how I felt, because I was like, is he really saying what I think? And I had to get my mind in a like, okay, Keith, what is every time I read, I'm like, okay, what were they saying to each other at that time? What is meant for me in this? That's how I look at everything. Like when I'm reading, even our abundance book, because I now, I had texted my friend the other day and was like, when you read the Bible, do you say this God's word, or do you say the word of God? And he was like, no. He said, I'll say the Bible says this. I said, yeah, because these are a bunch of different authors, and whoever, well, I know who wrote Song of Songs. I was like, just how we talk about we go through our journey of, we were young and then teenage, 20 years, and now we're here. I said when he wrote Song of Songs was when he was young and starting to be in love.
Mm-hmm.
And but the message that I got from it, I actually screenshot it. And almost every at the end of it, it says, "Promise me, O women of Jerusalem, not to awaken love until the time is right."
Right.
And it said that so many times, "Promise me not to awaken love until the time is right." I was like, so many lessons in just that one sentence, that everything else that was being written in that, it was like, oh, I get it. Love is, we're meant to have that feeling you felt. We're meant to have that feeling of companionship. We're meant to want a companion or somebody close to us, but don't awaken it until the time is right. And so, I believe, because we already did our do with whatever, we wait.
Okay.
But I'm saying, because we've experienced it, it's like, okay, now we got to go back to, please don't awaken it until the time is right. So, you did the right thing. Like, okay, this is a time where people getting together, families getting together. We ain't really into that.
Mm-mm.
We not. We like, I can't wait to Christmas Day so I can just sit at home and just not do nothing. But I'm sure at some point during that day, I'm going to think about or remember when I had companionship, and this day was it really special or was it routine? I want something special. I want something that's real.
I am like looking forward to it. And, my prayer is that I experience it sooner than later before I leave this earth, where I still have like my limbs, they're a little tight and ain't been moved. But I'm just saying, before I'm really where I'm just like, Lord Jesus, I need a physical therapist. But because there's so many firsts that I haven't experienced.
Yeah.
So I don't know what it's like to have a Christmas, even though I'm not big on Christmas. But when I think
let's say a holiday. Let's say a holiday.
What it stands for.
Yeah. Yeah.
Family uniting,
Yes.
because let's just pull out all of the meanings. So when I just think of this time of month from November to December, I just think of the unity and coming together and spending time with your loved ones, regardless of what religious holiday you celebrate,
absolutely.
or if you don't celebrate no holidays at all. And I'm like, I've never had that. I think I done had like one or two like little huh-hus, and that was it. And I mean, way back like in the 90s, I have not had that. I do not believe in my adult life having a companion.
I think you should look forward to it, but I will say this, because I've had it, but I don't have, and I said this before, any just memorable, like it was so special.
And that's what I am like really hoping, that if it happens for me, that it's just right. Like how it's like, don't awaken, do not awaken.
Don't awaken until,
because I've had enough heartache and struggle, and just in general overall, that again, I just want ease and joy. So, and I know bringing another person into your life complicates things.
You're getting the lessons though, friend.
But I want some good complications. You know what I'm saying? Where we can smooth things out.
But that's why I was saying you're getting the lessons, because even in friendship, when, like me and you, we had an intense moment last week. We're learning to smooth it out quickly. And
yes, because I've had intense moments. I've had intense moments that I didn't even know was intense until I realized that I wasn't talking to that person anymore.
You
know what I'm saying? So I want that, where it's the people in my life that love me back.
Yes.
That's what I'm going to say, because I'm learning that sometimes just because I love you, it's not enough. I need you to love me back and to cherish me. And I appreciate that, because
He getting you ready.
Okay.
He getting you. I am serious. I mean, I say it for myself too, but because I've been in a situation, it just be like a clicker in my head, like, oh, this is how it's supposed to happen. But I know you were never meant to go through that before it was awakened. You know what I'm saying? I had to get those lessons to come to where I am now, authentically not being a people pleaser or whatever, you know. You were not meant to, you're getting the lessons now as practice of this is how you're supposed to handle these situations when we ain't supposed to let the what it say sun go down on our wrath, or I don't know what it
Yes,
says,
yes, that makes me think of like those little sayings like, you know, don't go to bed
angry,
angry
yeah,
and all
like
of
you
that.
quickly now see, like, you know what, let me correct this.
Yes.
And I do too, but and it be corrected like there's no animosity, you
And
know.
I am grateful for this. And I say this like, you know, for our friendship and stuff, and just in general, because my hope is to continue to bring more like-mindedness in.
To that, yeah.
So we
Yeah.
not dealing with that type of spirit before
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Get an attitude, walk
Yeah.
away, and don't want to work
and don't
things
want to
out.
fix it.
I
Yeah.
have been watching Reasonable Doubt on Hulu.
Okay.
I heard a lot of people like talk about it, so I started watching it. But anyway, I pay attention to how her husband talks to her like they're separated, but you can tell from the things that he say, the way he moves, that he cares about trying to make the marriage work and that he wants to be there for her. But like some of the things that she says, and it comes from because we all dealing with trauma and healing differently, where it's just like they don't see each other's where they're coming from at that point in time, so to speak. But I like how they always come back to each other to try and work through it.
So you getting the lessons through the movies
even
too?
Through the movies too. That's why I keep on watching them. I'd be like, okay, let me write this down. Let me learn this. But it just overall makes me a better person. Because essentially that's what I'm trying to do. Again, Jesus, Lord, I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can make it happen tomorrow. He can ring the doorbell.
But hey, listen, Tikisha, we went somewhere a couple weeks ago. I can't even remember. Was it 2 weeks ago? And I've said on this show before that men are always attracted to my friend. And you remember we was at one point I was talking to, we were sitting in some seats and I was talking to her, but I was turned this way. She was sitting kind of behind me, beside me. And the next thing I know, I turn around and some man is in her ear. Like, and I said, what? I said, where he come from? How did he even find you? And he's just sitting there talking. You're getting your practice. Get your practice.
Yes, because I always be like, I'm not a good conversationalist. Like, if you have a topic, I can expand and go, but like to just go back and forth, because I don't really. This gonna sound horrible what I said, but I don't really be interested, so to speak. So, you know, when he was just like, so how's your day going? I'm like, good. And then I thought about it, was just like, this is a training moment. And so I said, how's your day going too? God, you know, so I started to engage, because normally that's how I do. You ask me a question, I'm like, I answer
and that's
it.
Girl, that man was in your ear. He was like, it was almost like, I don't know if you felt it, because you never turned really to look at him.
No.
His face was right here to you. And I was like, is she going to turn and look at him?
No, I never did look at him.
And Elijah was with us. And Elijah like, who is that in Tikisha face?
I just stayed just like this, and he was literally like right here, and I never even turned to give him eye contact.
You are getting your practice, so that feeling.
I knew if I gave him eye contact, it was gonna be gonna be over.
That was it. But you get your practice, friend. I don't really get those lonely moments because I've always had people around me. So now I am enjoying these quiet, alone moments, learning how to be. I think that your singleness, your single time is a time for you to, develop your relationship with God and get close to Him. And I'm like literally enjoying that so much right now that I almost don't want to let anybody else in because I've had that. And it was awakened too soon. You have had the solitude, even though I talk about the boyfriends you've had, you try to act like you had none.
I haven't.
But
none of y'all. Just my baby daddy. I'm fake flirting.
Hi, Ben. who is so nice and so kind.
He is.
He is.
He is. He's going to make a woman a good husband.
I said that.
And I am going to be her friend.
You are. You are. If you ain't her.
I'm not her. Mm-mm.
I said that though. I would like somebody, if I ever do, with someone, kindness is at the top of the list for me. I mean, kindness is the top of the list. Joyce Meyer, I was watching her yesterday too. She said something that was profound to me when she said, love is not a feeling. Love is how you decide to treat someone. And I was like, dang, ain't none of y'all love me because you know what I'm saying?
It's like an action.
It's an action.
And that's why I said what I said, where I feel like, oh, I loved you, but you didn't love me because you threw me away so easily.
Yeah.
You didn't come back to make it work to say, hey, well, what happened?
Yeah.
So it's me.
Yeah.
With the action of love.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yes, that is very profound. I feel her on that.
She was like, love is not like a feeling.
Yeah, because you feel sad. You feel angry.
You feel angry. She was like, love is like a decision. Love is a decision. You decide how you're going to treat someone shows how you love them.
Yep.
And I was just like, oh, all this time you be saying, I love you. Like, you don't know what love is. Mm-mm. So don't awaken until it's time. So you're getting your practice. And even that feeling of emotion you felt the other day was like your practice of when you probably gonna miss your husband when he's not here. When he on a business trip or something, or he just gone to the store or whatever.
Yeah, because I do get separation anxiety real quick.
Yeah.
That's one thing that I do know about me. So that's why, and that's something else, like when you said the solitude, and I know right now, like your main focus is your relationship with God, and not saying that mine isn't, but and you're probably learning yourself through your relationship with him.
Yeah.
Where I think that I'm a little bit more focused on learning myself maybe separately from that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because you've been on this journey for longer.
And I don't think I knew myself.
Yeah.
I think that I've always been like a spiritual being and had this relationship with God. While it's definitely did a 360 and it's full circle now, but I don't think I really knew me. Like if you were to ask me, what do I like doing? Like, am I just going to say the normal, like, let's go to the movies and the concert?
Girl, you sound like me. But see, when they ask me that question, it's out of routine of just because the people I've dated, that's all we did.
Yeah. Whereas now I'm like, I want to go for a walk. I want a picnic. Like a lot of the things that I want to do don't even cost money.
Yeah.
But future husband, I want you to fly up the jet and take me somewhere warm for the picnic.
Yeah, but again, it's funny how you said your answers are pretty much the same as mine, but the reasoning is different. I would say it based on being in relationships. What you like to do? Oh, I like to go to the movies and go here and go there. When really, when I became single and was like, what do I really enjoy? What do I really like? What brings me comfort and makes me happy? And once I started realizing, it was like, oh, it's really not the movies or going out to eat. It ain't.
I love to go out to eat now. That's still on my list.
I love to go out to eat, but I'm not going to the places that I used to be taken to.
Oh yeah, no, fine dining only.
Yeah,
emphasis on that, heavy on that.
Yeah, heavy. I mean, not that I won't. I love Coney Island, but I'm saying
Listen, if I am getting up, going out of my house, and I'm doing certain things, there's certain expectations that come with it. And if I regularly eat like fine dining thing, and this is coming from my perspective because I don't use my kitchen.
You don't.
So if I'm dining out all of the time, you can't hit me with something that I just had for dinner yesterday. You can't do that. Because I'm looking for him to come in and teach me new things and upgrade me.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing. Teach me new things, and the conversations that I want to have now are not,
yes,
like I think that like the last person who asked me recently, the one that came out like asked me why did I get divorced. I don't even go through no story. I'm like, that chapter of my story closed. Like, what else do you want to know? Because I ain't about to go down.
Like that's history. That's in the past. Like, why are we bringing that up?
Yeah, like, I'm like, I'm not gonna trauma bond with you. I'm not gonna sit here and talk about exes with you. I'd have no interest in doing that. That does not make me feel good, and I don't care what my mindset just so far gone from that. I'm like, I don't enjoy. I mean, I like the movies.
I like the movies too, as we talked about movies, but I want where the bottom line is, and we talked about this before with me, if I ain't learning nothing, I'm uninterested.
And that's the thing. The movies that we done see, the last couple movies I've seen it was something where I was like, oh my God. It wasn't like, it was entertaining, but it still was like, I walked away with some knowledge.
Yes, I'm only entertained nowadays if I'm getting some knowledge from it. And if I
still talk about that doggone Book of Clarence.
And if I'm not, it's just like,
yeah, I and somebody, and if that person thinks that that's boring, they not it.
Yeah, they're not.
They're not it. Like
I want us to dissect the movie. And did you notice when this happened, how the bird came out, how it was raining? Because when I watch movies now, I think about the details and that they put in everything. So I need whoever's in my life, even if they're not all the way there, they need to want to hear that, because that's who I am. And we're coming on the close.
Well, it's coming for you, friend. That's all I have to say. You're getting your practice. My practice was actually practice.
Yeah.
You know what
I'm saying? Real time.
I had real time. But you're getting your lessons. And this is one thing that I learned this week too, and I'll finish with this. That our time, you want him to come and you want him to come on, but our time ain't God's time.
Yeah, I think, was that last week I said that, or whatever I said that, where I was just
the Bible be like 40 years, it'd be like 40 minutes for him.
Yeah, that's why I was just like, I put it out there. I do that, but I do understand divine timing, and I appreciate divine timing, because the one thing that I notice is, and I said this to you before, like when we had the babies, you do not think about that 9 months.
Yeah.
It's your bundle of joy is here. So
that time go away. And I know that he's coming for you. He may be coming for me. I don't know. He may be coming.
How that go? Like, we'll talk about that later, but that be something where you can just know and feel something, but when it be your own.
Because I can feel the energy of the practice is happening for you, because I know how you've been in the semi-relationships you've had.
Look at her respecting my wishes. She went down from full-fledged to semi.
I say semi. You know what I'm saying? So I know that it's like he's preparing you. And he preparing me too, but in a different way. We're getting prepared. So, I enjoyed this conversation, friend.
Me too. Me too.
Listen, we want y'all to like, listen, subscribe, share, make a comment. If you watch this video, please like it. And if you don't like it, hit don't like. Okay? Because
there's gonna be some people that don't like it,
say. So we see y'all viewing, but I want to know if y'all like it. Share with a friend, subscribe. Hey, send us the email, colorflowconversations@gmail.com. If you got a topic you want us to discuss, because we just two friends to sit here and let y'all into our girl talk.
That's
Okay.
exactly what we do.
What we
Okay.
do
All the
all the
time.
time. So anything else, friends?
No, I'm good.
All right. We will see y'all next week.
Peace.